Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for being with us for this debate that we will kick off. A very topical issue, robots, the impact on the labor market. You may have read an article yesterday in the Echo magazine. AI developed by Microsoft was able to give better forecasts and a better diagnosis than a doctor, and the price will be 20 times cheaper. You have the productivity gains with those machines. These machines are working faster than the human beings who would be worried. So, Schumpeter time. This has to do with the intellectual function. So, we don't know how many jobs will be created or destroyed in the next few years, how AI will reorganize the labor world. Two guests, Gonzague, PIREY, in charge of data at LVMH, and Cyril, the head of Sopra, the CEO of Sopra. Gonzague de PIREY. There's a debate that has been going on here. Are we facing a revolution, or is it just a technological gap with AI? As far as I'm concerned, it's a revolution. This is my belief. We are at the start of a revolution, but this revolution will take time. So, of course, it will take between 5 and 10 years. Digital technology has transformed our companies, the way we live, the way we consume, the way we work in the corporate world. It took 10 years. Technology is moving fast, by the way. So less than 10 years. It will take 5 years, but this is a revolution. Cyril, what is your take on that? You've been supporting many companies. The speed of automation, yes, it's an exponential speed, but I would say that it's a transformation rather than a revolution. There's a nuance, but it's a transformation because we witnessed different revolutions. End of the 18th, so textile, the iron industry, then the second revolution with electricity, telecommunications, the internal combustion engine, the automotive sector, energy. We're talking about a revolution. It was a transformation of the IT sector between 1970 and 2000, the computers, the softwares, the internet. So there were some text processing devices and third wave digital technologies as of the mid-2000s, the smartphones, the platforms, the cloud, data, and AI. So transformation of skills, transformation of work. So it's important to get some support policies. So there is no breakthrough. It is not a disruptive trend. It's a continuity with something that is going very fast. Gonzague de PIREY. So when we say LVMH, people will think handbags. We might not be disrupted by AI on the face of it. Yes, it's right. So there's an antagonistic view between luxury and technology. There's a kind of dichotomy. There's a chasm. Luxury, it's a human experience, artistic creation, craftsmanship, sale in stores. So e-commerce is very small at LVMH. Experiences, sensory experiments that are unique, that people will experience through high-quality products, extreme quality products with exceptional raw materials, cashmere fibers that are 8 times thinner than a hair at L'Europeana. In the luxury division, we will be selling flavors of the long term. Cyril, you've talked about the whirlwind of technologies. Luxury is a safe haven, synonymous with peace. So for you, it's better to sell craftsmanship instead of technology. But do we use technology? Yes, to a certain extent. We will sell excellent products. Can we use technology for excellence? Without rejecting technology, it would be a key mistake. regarding our competitors, but we don't want a craftsmanship being absorbed by AI, by robots, because we would have lost our soul. We have a concept, tech, a technology that is pervasive, but not visible at all, a technology that will focus on real things, not on virtual things. People will buy products. It's a kind of experience that people will lead. AI that would be a supplement instead of a big replacement. So the sales force people will be helped by AI, and I wouldn't realize that if I go to one of your stores. Exactly. You visit a store to purchase a luxury good. It's a purchase, which by essence will take time. The customer, when he or she buys a luxury good, a desired good, it will take 1 year, one hour to discuss with one of the sellers, and the seller will talk about the brand, the nature, the quality of a product, the source of a product, and then you enter into a dream world. It's part and parcel of the purchasing experience, but this is what the seller will do for 75% of his time, but for the 25% of his time, he will work on the back office. So you'll be able to use the smartphone and to use generative AI so that the sellers can better manage their back office tasks, and they will be able to get some time to care for the customers. And if the seller is 3 times faster, it will be better for customers. In terms of quality, you've got a client, and the seller will say, this fuchsia high-heeled shoes, do I get them in the inventory? It's a kind of stress that is experienced by the seller. So this type of anguish, it means that we are not fully connected emotionally with a customer. If there's a tool that will tell you how to sort out the problems, I will be able to care better for my customers. So AI should serve the employees in the company. And what is the next step? What is the next step? AI. Any meaning for AI for the employees? We have some technological tools that we didn't get before, and many tasks will be automated, tiring, repetitive, predictive tasks. So time will be freed up. How are we going to use this time being freed up? So I think that it's possible to give some value to work, to give some meaning to work, and commitment. I was struck by a survey conducted by IFOP in 2022. IFOP asked the French people, the working people, how many of them consider that work is very important to them. In 1990, 60% said that work was very important to them. In 2022, 30 years later, from 60% to 21%. For the executives, 25%. So we've got an issue here there. AI will not lay off all the people, will not make people redundant. So we can automate. So we have to put human beings at the center of AI. But in order to reward them, we are a digital services company, 50,000 engineers and consultants. Our work is to provide digital services. Moreover, we've got a project, an assignment, whereby our role at Sopra Steria is to use technology, to use technological advances in order to take up the challenges of responsibility and sovereignty in Europe. When a developer is using AI-related tools, the generated code will be retrieved, but the task is to provide an ethical, a security value, a frugal value to make sure that the code will consume fewer resources. So, of course, the person hasn't lost his or her job. The job is changing, and the person can understand his or her job better. We have to work on those issues in the future. And there's another statistics. 69% of the 18 to 25 years old think that AI will replace them. So we have some educational work to do. Cyril Malargé, the financial managers, the chief financial officers, the CEOs think that if I gain 20% in terms of productivity, maybe I can gain 20% for the payroll, so they cannot gain 20% on productivity through AI. So you understand my idea, but massive AI is not yet around the corner. So to a certain extent, technology will become more industrialized and skills will change. Work will be altered to a certain extent. So I think that there will be a balance between more productivity and deliver more value to the customers, more uses and usages, services, more quality. Part of these gains will be reinvested in more value, because we have to do it because of our competitors, Gonzague. Regarding AI, there's a kind of fantasy to entrust AI with intellectual functions, and this is something new versus the previous revolutions. In the past, we were replacing the physical strength at LVMH, and if we were to entrust AI creativity, the creation of our collections, temptation does not exist, because we have artistic directors who've said we shouldn't use AI because creation is part and parcel of a human being. But in reality, once you've flagged up this statement, they are great tools in order to help us create. Oh, we might say that's not a big deal, we'll see what's going to happen, or we say we will be able to address this topic, AI and creativity, because there's a risk. What is the risk here? So a shadow AI, the creators will think about the major trends, and we will ask AI, is it possible for you, AI, to come up with the latest fashion creation? So there are some risks in the short term. It might work from a commercial viewpoint. It might work. But, of course, I'm using an oxymoron to standardize creativity. So, in fact, no creativity at all. And the goal of the creator is not to follow the trends, but to create new trends. Last week, there was the Fashion Week in Paris. I mean, all these fashion designers were there, and they were creating incredible trends for their brands. So it's not a matter of banning technology, banning the tool, but what is important is to learn how to use the tool, to make the most of the tool in order to boost creativity and not undermine creativity. So we've got some tools, we've got some rules about how we can use those tools so that creativity can be boosted and not being undermined. Cyril Malargé, there's an issue here, a shadow AI. A few years ago, we talked about the risk of having your own device, bring your own device, as it were, with your own phones in the company. These could be entry doors for piracy, but how do you manage all those trends whereby you have some employees who are using AI-related tools, and even though they don't say it, and this can disrupt the organization and can lead to security and safety leaks? That's true, but that's not new. When a new technology emerges, when a new technology comes to the fore, the individual use prevailed over the professional use, and companies managed to adapt, and they took on board all these new elements. But of course, we are in Europe. So in Europe, we tend to regulate. So companies are supposed to enforce regulations. I'm not an apostle of regulation, but in March 2024, we've got the AI Act, and with AI Act, normally there's a guarantee. We roll out AI systems that are safe, secure, ethical, complying with fundamental rights, that are transparent, and they could be audited. So to a certain extent, we have a good bedrock so that companies can manage all of these values, and it is good. The employees should be curious. They come up with their own tools, with their equipment. It is up to the company to take all that on board. Regarding the controversy on robots, when we talk about robots, we have in mind a science fiction film, Terminator. But AI, is it augmented human being, just a tool that will help a human being? Yes, is that what it is? When we invented the calculator, we didn't nip in the bud the mathematicians. So when we invented scanners, the doctors improved their diagnosis. So it's a new tool that is being made available to deliver more value. And to a certain extent, and back to the word revolution, the health sector, the healthcare sector. So we are just at the start of AI, but maybe we'll be able to find remedies to cure untreatable disease and to make headway with cancer cure. So we have to be attentive to the use of AI, but with AI there's a huge potential to tap in order to manage some problems and difficulties that seem to be impossible to sort out. Gonzague de PIREY. Yes, there's an optimistic approach, but there's also a pessimistic approach. So the different leaders, and this is the goal of the Congress, the leaders have a responsibility to shoulder. We need to use this technology in a positive manner in order to help our customers and employees. The employees shouldn't be at the service of a robot, but it's a political choice. It's a choice that has to be made. We can be sanguine, as you said, Cyril, but this is a choice that has to be made by the different managers. We have a charter, responsible AI, that is fundamental. We want AI to serve the human beings and not vice versa. And we want the human beings to be at the center, to be at the forefront. We want to better develop our people, to unleash the potential of our skilled people, of our talent. It's a political choice. It's a policy-driven choice. As far as I'm concerned, we see eye to eye to a certain extent. We have to be lucid. We shouldn't be afraid of AI. AI will be pervasive. So for a corporate leader, he or she has to make sure that all the employees should be able to use this tool, and they should be able to use it on a daily basis, because they will be left aside if they don't use it, if they don't buy into it. And continuous training will be a differentiator, 7% of the payroll, because technology has a life expectancy of 5 years, so we spend our time training our employees. So we are a technology-driven company. What is true to us will apply to many fields. So we need to anticipate. We need to show foresight in order to get prepared for the future. It means that AI can make companies responsible in terms of training. Training continues during the professional life, but it's a weakness. Training is a weakness in the companies. Yes, but training will be a topic of competition. If I want to use AI as best as we can, I need to train the employees so that they can make the best use of AI. Gonzague. Productivity will increase thanks to AI, and people will be able to train themselves and upgrade their skills. They will be able to upskill. You have two types of training. Training to the tool first. So we conducted some training programs for the 200,000 employees. We launched some fast-track programs so that people can be familiar with the tool. But then there's a second level of training. And this level of training is critical usage of AI. So I'm talking about the seller, the assistant. Of course, people will be able to use the apps. There are tools that are developed by the suppliers. So in 1 hour and 30, in 1 minute and 30 seconds, we can use the tool. But to teach the assistant that the tool is super powerful, but on the shop floor, you don't need to use your iPhone. Why should you get a screen between the client and the seller? You put your device into your pocket and then you talk with a customer. Then you sit down and you can look at the screen, but then it's different. It's a learning curve. The good use of the device is the most important thing, the most critical thing in order to be loyal to the values of the company. A human relationship is key when we sell a product so that it is at the service of.
One of the, what's original in the evolution of AI is that it concerns intellectual activities, jobs, but there's also an originality which is related to those who are concerned with that or those who are challenged with this technology. This AI today is not a risk for seniors. It doesn't jeopardize the seniors. It's often the senior employees that will be the position of the junior employees. If you're a young beginner and you're challenged by a machine that does a job very well, I don't agree with your question. You can have senior employees that can be jeopardized. Their job can be jeopardized. It's not a question of seniority. It's also linked to the field of activity, the kind of job. It depends on all that, but your question is excellent. What is the position of the youth, of the juniors? How do you, will the juniors be replaced by AI? No, I don't think so. It's not true. Some people do believe that, but it's not true. But they will start their career by being trained and being users already of this technology, AI. So somewhere, we hire 70% of youth that just are fresh out of school. So the idea is how we enrich the careers, how do we modify the paths, how do we adapt our training programs to integrate the youth who are already augmented with AI and make them evolve a bit differently than in the past. We're at the beginning of this reflection. Things are going fast. There's a lot of work to do still, but it's something we're doing. But what we observe is that the youth are native, at ease with are comfortable with these AI tools, not like the elderly or the older employees. You know, when I started my career, there was no smartphone, but I got used to it. We can adapt. But what the youth need to do, even if they are AI native, they don't have what the seniors have in the companies, is this critical distance with view to AI. The AI tells me this, but is it really right? How can I establish a dialogue? We know it's a dialogue that will make a difference between AI and human intelligence. You know, this being critical, establishing a collaboration. I think the younger employees have to be trained on how they should have a critical position towards AI. You know, what Gonzague is saying is very, very important because it has an impact on education. We need to really change everything in education. I think in school, in high school, we need to go back on digital technologies, mathematics, AI, and our youth need to be taught how to learn. How to learn, yes. You should learn statically, but in a dynamic way. Learn to learn, develop the sense of criticism, be critical, and that's very important. Learn to learn. So we still have less than a minute before we go to the Q&A, but the cash question here, should we fear what's happening today? Should we be afraid of what's happening for the corporate world? No, we shouldn't be afraid. We have to dare AI, no doubt. We have to be daring. And as managers, it's our responsibility to transmit this trust, because fear exists, it is there, it needs to be addressed. And it's up to us to come up with the right narrative so people are trustful. And it's our responsibility politically, in the noble sense of the word politics. Cyril, well, I think we shouldn't be afraid, but we have to be very lucid. We have to be aware on the fact that we don't know everything. There's still a lot to discover. Nobody can predict how what AI will be in the 2 coming years, how it will be transformed, how it will make progress. The best position, I think, is to be very lucid, to anticipate, to be open-minded and make progress. Let's not stay static. We have to be in motion. So thank you, both of us. Terminators, not our colleague yet. So thank you to both of you. Director General of Sopra Steria, good continuation for these rencontres d'ex. Thank you.